Let the critique begin. You're most likely to recognize Little Shop of Horrors as the 1980s off-Broadway musical, which was then adapted into the 1986 film adaptation by Frank Oz and starring Rick Moranis. The roots of the musical, no pun intended, was actually the 1960 black comedy by Roger Corman. The film revolves around Seymour, a young man who works at a rundown florist shop on Skid Row. There isn't much business there until one day, Seymour starts caring for a strange-looking plant that resembles a Venus flytrap, which oddly enough is malnourished. One day, when Seymour pricks his finger on a rose bush, he discovers that the plant survives off human blood. The plant receives all sorts of attention and praise, but Seymour doesn't tell anyone about his discovery. Soon, the plant develops the ability to speak, but it was around that time that Seymour starts to feel anemic. Outside, he throws a rock in frustration, but the rock hits someone, causing him to fall onto train tracks that so happen to be getting crossed by a train. To hide the body, Seymour feeds it to the plant, and over time, suspicions arouse from Seymour's employer. The film was low budget, meaning it was shot in only a few days with multiple cameras filming at the same time, and by today's standards, it starts to lean more toward comedy than horror. The movie monster is also pretty unique. There were a few written stories beforehand about carnivorous plants, but this was the first one to popularize it. At first, the film wasn't very successful, but over time, it slowly developed a cult status and was big inspiration in the 80s, obviously bringing out the Broadway show, which then brought out the big budget film by Frank Oz. Not only that, the film allowed for inspiration for the piranha plants in Super Mario Bros. I haven't been able to see the remake yet, though I might be able to cover it once I finally do. Anyways, the 1960 classic by Roger Corman always sticks out, and even though the Frank Oz film was much more recognized, I still find great enjoyment in this one. It's definitely not one of the greatest films of all time, but its charm is always there, and it can be very easily seen as a true classic B movie.